Well, this morning I was looking through my odd compilations, and I have got some odd compilations, and I came across this one which I'd forgotten all about. It's called Good Sport, Musicals, Own Goals and Foul Play from the 60s and 70s. And you can see Professor Stanley Unwin there up on the left. Also World Cup Willie, Carl Douglas, Daffy Duck, and I can't remember what the horse is called anyway, but still, and all sorts of things on here, because you used to have a lot of football teams, didn't you? They'd make records, or England team, etc. Tony Hatch Orchestra, theme from Sports Night, London Brass, Sportsline London, Lancashire County Cricket Team, Red Rose, Cy Grant, King Cricket. I used to love Cy Grant when he'd be on TV and he'd do those it was in the 60s, he'd do those things on, I think it was the Tonight programme, and there were calypsos that were brilliant. They were, I loved them. Frank Holder's Calypso Time, Victory Test Match, Black County 3, the boxing match, Johnny Wakelin, In Zaire. You remember all that about that famous boxing match. Al Ainsworth Orchestra, Rollerball theme, The Gladiators, Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I only remember Tiny Tim singing that, and that's going back some years and showing me age. The Spinners, Football Crazy, the Copites, Liverpool We Love You, Lonnie Donegan, World Cup Willie. I remember World Cup Willie, 1966. 1970 England football squad, Back Home. 1970 England football squad, Puppet on a String. There's some message in between. There's how many? There's about 50 tracks here, and I won't go into what's on the second CD. But as with all sequel Castle Communication CDs back in the day, you look inside for the booklet, and it was a fold-out picture like that with loads of text. Very interesting reading through them, and that's the other side. But I prefer the booklet format, and I believe after various people complaining, they reverted to that anyway. Spike Milligan and John Bluthal. I think it was called the Olympic, that. And then there's a picture of Lonnie Donegan, see, with a spinning top. One of those spinning tops that they had in the 50s and 60s. And I never had one because I was never treated to one, you see. Too expensive, apparently. Well, there you go. That was on the cover of one of his early LPs. Now, something in here which I think is a little bit snidey, actually, and it's about Long John Baldry. I have a great deal of respect for Long John Baldry, sadly not here anymore, and he was a brilliant bluesman, but at one time, for reasons of his own, I think contractual, he ended up making a couple of songs like Let the Heartaches Begin, and it was on Top of the Pops with it. I think it was a fairly sizable hit, but he wasn't keen on doing those things really, because the blues was his field. And it says here anyway, Long John Baldry was always sticks in my throat to even repeat this, the poor man's John Mayall turned Engelbert Humperdinck, and by 1968 he was desperate enough to cash in on the Olympics with Mexico, Underneath the Sun. The TV theme for the competition. It wasn't a bad record, and even gave Long John Baldry a deserved hit. Mind you, standing at well over 6 feet, he might have been more successful in the Olympics themselves. This Good Sport apparently is volume 2. I don't think I've ever seen volume 1. And the notes for this were written by Mick Dillingham in the summer of 2000. Anyway, it's an interesting sort of a curio, and it's got a depiction of a football there, see? And you might want to pick it up if you come across a copy on eBay or somewhere like that. and they are fairly cheap if you can still find them. You've got people like me hanging on to them for all these years. And here's another thing: blow football. Do you ever remember that? Did you ever have at Christmas bought for you blow football? I think it's probably a bit of an unhealthy toy, actually. There we have it. Okay, I thought I'd show you that anyway, and it's a bit of a curio. Let me know what you think anyway about these kinds of records. Bye.